Hello, everybody. It's Max with Crypto Talk now with the latest in regards to Metapolis. So, in this particular update, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. And if anything, I want to draw your attention. What I basically saw on here recently, posted, of course, straight from their official Twitter page in regards to what's going to happen tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow at this particular one called Back the Builders, right? So, you can, of course, still register for this. But here's as the saying goes, there's a catch, right? So I don't mean this in a negative light and so on, but um, the catch is basically I haven't seen that they're going to provide any information about them streaming this or anybody doing a particular video or anything like that in this particular event. But here's the positive side of it, right? It's nice to still see these particular events, and especially when it comes to like those of Metapolis and so on. You look at other, for instance, metaverses out there and so on. They don't have a lot of what you see going on, like with the likes of Metapolis, if anything. Um, there is a lot of, I guess you could say, quote unquote, quality or luxurious type of things going on with Metapolis. What I mean by that is, um, you know, just like some of these particular events, it just really stands out. Like, man, Metapolis is like a luxurious metaverse, right? And if anything, you're going to hear a particular clip here in a bit, or see it, I should say, in which basically outlines just that, like what they're currently doing, the transparency of Metapolis, and so on. But anyway, I want to show you this, and I'm gonna blow this up a little bit more. It says we are teaming up with, of course, Metapolis and CoinDCX to kick off an exhilarating unconference, which that's quite a term in itself. Unconference, never heard of that. Back the Builders on Saturday, which is literally tomorrow. This of course comes from Blockchain India. It says enjoy sessions and networks with the finest of builders, investors, and supporters, etc., etc. Now, when I went to their particular site, which I'm pulling up right now, it does give you quite a bit of info as far as like the investment partners, who's is powered by, the specific dates. Even provides the time, right? So, for instance, it says Saturday, December 3rd, 6:30 to 11:30 p.m. GMT plus 5:30. So, again, if you're wondering about the time frame, you could basically just take GMT plus 30, put it in Google, look at your own clock, and then find out, for instance, specifically how this converts to your own time zone. It does show this particular event, all that great info, how you can register, all that. But again, I didn't see any particular info as far as that they were going to stream this, or you could be like a virtual attendee, anything like that specific. Just simply don't see it, right? Like, it says why you should attend, which all that is great things. I mean, it mentions if you're a builder or investor. I mean, let's face it, one of the key things here is to basically show, look, you don't have to be like a coder, right? You can be just that investor type person, supporter type person. It says the discussion will be followed by a reception at the mesmerizing Marriott poolside. Register now. It just seems like a really great event. But if anything, it's like I also have to keep in mind that the Miami event, right? So that was an exclusive thing, and so. And this is not me a fudding on or anything like that, but I'm just telling the reality of it. I of course leaked out some information, or not information, but some clips that you guys saw. That's how you originally found me. Let's face it, a lot of you guys. And then of course, even to date, that was my biggest Metapolis video coverage, to say the least. But yeah, I didn't see anything like this. I wouldn't expect them to stream anything. I just, if anything, I wanted to share that with you guys to basically let you know that this is actually going on, right? So, and that's good. You want to see these types of events and so on, because if anything, it's very good for what's going on with the Metapolis community. It brings more attention, if you will, because to a sense, it's not quote unquote trending, but it lets you have a broad perspective that people are meeting together to talk about the likes of Metapolis. And to me, Metapolis stands out as being kind of like a luxurious metaverse, right? I think that's one of the key takeaways. I'm not saying that it's not open to anybody, because it definitely is, right? They've shown, like your avatar on a high scale, full poly, if you will, version of that, the medium range poly, and of course the what looks like a Minecraft style avatar, if you will. A little bit more in regards to this. I want to scroll further down, and of course, this is more from blockchain, right? But it's this right here, and of course, this is what you probably saw in the thumbnail, and this basically is going on today as we speak. So it says Mgen 2022, India's largest games, esports, and web summit. And of course, on the last particular video, you saw our coverage about what happened basically in the, for instance, for the likes of their particular, what they got going on with esports and so on. We basically covered that towards the end of our last video. But, of course, this is going on to speak. I don't know specifically, like, the specific times, and I don't even know if this is really streaming in itself. You guys might want to look more on, for instance, Twitter, YouTube, and so on. Try to type in, like, for instance, hashtag Metapolis, see if anybody produces those clips. But I definitely want to bring this to you. On top of that, what I was going to mention is there was a particular clip, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's actually right here. Hold on a second. And it's from, what's his name? Max, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. He did a particular interview in regards to his particular coverage at Metapolis, where, it just kind of has the transparency, if you will. I like this particular interview. I found it right here. Sorry about that. I didn't have it, like, perfectly set up.
I think
if anything, listen to this. All right, it says, delighted to have Max Cantillia join the Luxury Innovation Summit by Luxury Venture at Geneva, Switzerland. It featured an extensive global speaker lineup of entrepreneurs, startups, and innovators from all over the world, especially from the luxury sector, right? We're going to show you guys, of course, this particular clip, but one of my key takeaways is this. Think about this crypto winter that we're basically in, right? Real crazy bear market and so on. There's been a lot of negative things that happened with the collapse of FTX, so on and so forth, right? It's just been kind of let's face it, a crappy year for crypto. But it's the innovators who rise usually out of the ashes with these things happening. For people who are stating that crypto is going to go to zero, it's like saying blockchain is going to go to zero. Blockchain is always going to be here, and if anything, it's going to keep being just that much more innovative. Metropolis stands out because, for one, like what you're going to hear from this particular clip from Max, is how basically Metropolis is unique in its own right? It's the first of its kind for metaverse as a service. And what that entails in itself is just that. It's very, very innovative. So I'm going to show you this particular one. And again, it's the head honcho, if you will, with Max. This is about a minute and 46 seconds. And of course, we'll come right back here in a moment for some more commentary. I'm just going to blow this up and make it more full screen for you. And of course, here we go. We'll be right back.
Events like this are really important because after what we've been through the last 3 years, face-to-face contact, meeting people, and discussing things like the subjects at this summit, communication and messaging is far easier, and you can have a lot of fun at the same time. I'm Max Cantillia, and I am the chairman and founder of Metapolis. Metapolis is a metaverse as a service platform, the world's first actually, and we are helping brands to create a venue, a presence in the metaverse. I'm also a founder and investor in a number of other blockchain companies that are using a layer 1 to create new industry verticals, for example in the music industry. This year I was most looking forward to finding out about how luxury brands are thinking about some of the hurdles to adopting blockchain and metaverse technology. And I've heard some really, really interesting things that have made me think about what we need to do better in order for that to happen sooner rather than later. I've met very, very interesting people from the luxury world. I've met some fascinating people from the tech world. It's been really, really just so cool to share thoughts and ideas and visions. Everyone has a different idea about what happens next, what happens in the next 5 years, and I just hope that we're all right.
Yeah, we all hope that we'll be all right, to say the least, especially in these crazy times that we live in. But yeah, I definitely wanted to just go ahead and basically show you guys that. Thought that was really cool to see that, to say the least. On top of that, let me come in back in the frame here just a moment. Um, and that is some of this other stuff that was presented. So a while back, for instance, when it comes to Metapolis, Sandra Hellu mentioned specifically, for instance, you know, being transparent. Uh, we even use this example, for instance, with our quant coverage that we do quite often here at CTN, and that is being interoperable. And I love the idea that Metapolis gets it when it comes to that specifically. They get the whole concept of, there's a lot of people, for instance, that come into the likes of these different metaverses and so on, the different metaverse platforms and so on, and if anything, they don't have the patience, if you will, when it comes to, hey, I need to get this separate app and I need to get this other thing and this other thing to be quote unquote interoperable. We live in the time of what I would like to refer to as the generation of now, right? A now society where you have to be basically just that, right? Interoperable and so on. So Sandra Hellu has mentioned quite a few times that their team at Metapolis, they basically get that, right? The days of me, for instance, having to install or basically create a separate email to verify my identity. No, you don't have to do that. Everything should be fully compatible, fully interoperable. And that's, again, another thing I think that really stands out for Metapolis. And especially now, they are standing out as far as being like the luxurious metaverse platform, if you will. And I realize, we're still so very early. And speaking of which, that's the one thing I definitely want to show you. So when I see, for instance, the price of Zilliqa, right? Because let's face it, Metapolis is one of the standout projects that are part of Zilliqa's ecosystem, right? And by the way, Zilliqa is its own blockchain. How do we know that? They're their own coin, right? They're not a token. They don't sit on, for instance, or dependent on, for instance, another blockchain, right? So, with that said, Zilliqa is also still in the top 100, and at these prices, I mean, let's face it, we've seen this, as far as Zil goes, dip down, be below that 20, or I should say, 2.5 cent mark, right? And it's sitting roughly at what you see right here. This could break support down into like 1.9, for instance. I still feel as though it's an absolute bargain. Even what you see it right now is still an absolute bargain, to say the least. I feel as though that this particular coin, Zilliqa, and especially with what they got going on with Metapolis, and let's face it, there's a lot of other projects that are part of the ecosystem, and rightfully so, right? That's great. But Metapolis really is the standout one for me, and hence why I've been trying to cover it as much as I can. I realize I don't cover it every single day, but when I see recent news posted, again, I want to be able to share that with you guys, because I really truly do believe that they are the metaverse of metaverses, and they're going to basically be standing out here soon. Of course, another one I'm excited about for the future is what Shiba Inu to basically bring to the table as far as their metaverse platform. But even with that said, that is kind of, to a sense, hopium, if you will, right? Because I still haven't seen, nobody has really, right? Other than just little pictures and so on. With Metapolis, on the other hand, you've seen the clips, you've seen, what their capabilities are as far as poly count, medium range, right? And even, like if a person had a low end system, like the Minecraft style graphics and so on, they hit all different aspects. They realize that they need to be fully interoperable. They realize that they have something very innovative, kind of like what Max said, basically. They at Metapolis are metaverse as a service, the first of its kind. All these things, guys, we're still so early. So again, I just want to point out some of this, and of course was glad to be able to provide you today's Metapolis coverage. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks again for watching, everybody. And y'all have a blessed day, and we'll see you on the next one.